Monday, 25th of July, will be Nigeria's Diaspora Day. It's a national celebration where we highlight the contributions of those in diaspora to talk about how they are still ensuring that, even though they are out of our country, they're still making sure that there's plenty of growth here. To examine that and to see how we can further harness the contributions of those abroad and to see how what else needs to be done. Is it just about their contributions? Is there anything else that we can do for them as well as they do for us? That's the conversation we're having this morning. And to help do it, we have Reverend Father Emeka Chris Obiezu, who is of the Order of St. Augustine's. He is the National Coordinator, Director, Civil Society Network on Migration and Development, and also Executive Director of the Augustinian Center for Advocacy, Justice, and Peace. Father, you're welcome to Sunrise Elite this morning.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here.
It's not every day we get priests involved in issues of migration, etc.
Yes.
So I'm a little curious as to why you're involved in this.
Wow. Okay, I think there are some reasons why I am involved, but first let me say thank you to Channels for this privilege of being here to share experience on a very significant population of Nigeria who contribute a lot to the development of this country, the diaspora. Yeah, why did I pick interest in migration, or why do I work around it? I think it spans from two things. First is that my own personal experience as a migrant, and having endured both the good, the bad, and the ugly of
As a migrant to where? Did you go through the Sahara or you went through?
No, I was a regular migrant.
Okay, regular
migrant.
Okay.
I went on a mission abroad and did studies, worked, and then finished my term, felt the need to come back home, and then got back home. So, and that's the kind of migration we promote. We call it the regular migration. In such a way that you do that through the stipulated guidelines and for also the peace and development of your country and the country where you eventually reside in. So being in that state and also working around the issues of social development within the UN system, I found out that migration is one of the core elements that drive the development issues, and it is at the nexus of most other issues, including peace and all things around it. And as I said, so my experience, which sometimes were good, I mean, I benefited very well for being a migrant in Canada and the US, and I also endured some challenges of being a Nigerian who is a migrant, being stereotyped, even irrespective of your position. People will still look at your green passport and ask you nasty questions, especially when you travel with colleagues who are from other nationals, and they begin to worry. But why did they stop you? The only reason they stopped me because my passport was green. And then I had to go through questions and all those. When I had opportunity to challenge them, I was able to do that. And so all those built into what answers to your question, why did I actually get into it?
Okay.
And as Augustinians too, we work in over 54 countries in the world, and migration is one of our issues because not only that we ourselves are migrants, but also most of the communities we work with are migrant communities, either directly or indirectly. So we establish various outreaches that help us respond to direct and indirect needs of those who affected by migration.
Okay, so by virtue of your calling, it will almost seem that this is almost coming naturally to you.
Yes, yes.
Okay, let me ask you then, you've already talked about some of the challenges you faced even as a regular migrant holding a green passport. But let's talk about the, let's say, opportunities first. We know we're unable to say clearly how many Nigerians we have in diaspora. But we know that remittances from Nigerians in diaspora forms a very huge part of our foreign exchange earnings here in Nigeria. And there have been questions as to, I mean, for the people who contribute to this remittances, there have been questions to why it is that they cannot be part of more I mean, they want to be part of the decision-making of things that happen in Nigeria
Yeah.
if they're already putting their money where their mouth is, so to speak.
Yeah.
What other opportunities are we not exploring from your own perspective as someone who knows what Nigerians abroad are capable of?
Again, we talk about the contribution of diasporas to national development, which again extends beyond physical development in terms of structures or economics. Their development contribution also goes into social knowledge and other aspects. What we call remittances are actually discussed in two terms: economic remittances and social remittances. The one that we always hear often is the one, the economics, because it has to have foreign exchange. And like you put it rightly, it is one of the huge sources of foreign exchange, or foreign investment, as the case may be as well. The highest we had ever had was 2019. We had over 25.5 billion US dollars accruing to Nigeria from the activities of Nigerians outside. That is cash. And these are those that came in through what we call official remittances channels. That is through banks regulated by the World Bank and National Central Bank here. But there are some money as well. But in terms of social remittances, where I think our diaspora do a lot, also they have knowledge exchange, knowledge transfer. You know, the little times you call your colleague outside or your friend outside, oh, can you help me source this? And he tells you what is new that is out there that helps you to build your own potential. It's also a help in developing you. But sometimes they have organized knowledge sharing in the transfer. They do what they call diaspora missions. So they come back to Nigeria either as association or organized individuals to come over here to do some of those systematic knowledge transfer in the case of building educational systems, medical platforms. You know, so these are some of those areas they do. Again, they also join us in political affairs. There are occasions where some diasporas have been either appointed or have to be appointed more to come down to Nigeria to hold some political positions. And it still happens in some states, but it's very scanty. You know, we have had cases where some persons left and came back to Nigeria and contested for elections and won, and then finished that term. Some are still hanging around, but some dash back again to where they came from, you know. But the larger thing we think we want to do more, which the diaspora is actually asking about, is in the whole space of the political involvement. One of the key ways of participating politically is that you determine who is your leader and how that develops, and that is by election. So I guess this is an issue that needs to be talked about, how much the Nigerian diaspora are involved in electing their leaders. And we moved too much about it in advocacy. The Nigerians in Diaspora Commission held that push a long time. And then when there was all this electoral act reformation and all those, we used that opportunity to push that. And then when the Senate opened up, the National Assembly opened up the constitutional review and all those, we used that channel as well. But it is unfortunate, or it was unfortunate, that on March 1st, when they voted on that, about 92 of them were present in the Senate. And unfortunately, 63 of them voted against it. So it didn't pass. And being a diaspora myself to some extent, and then interfacing with my colleagues out there, it wasn't a palatable news.
It continues to remain a matter of controversy as to whether or not people should be, people who are not exactly in the country should have the power to be able to vote. Even largely within the country, I mean, there's been no general consensus on that. I do not know if this is just a decision of the political class, but if you also do like a sampling, you know, you might get mixed reactions from Nigerians. Do you think those in diaspora have been able to make their point clearly enough that, you know, to proffer reasons why they should be allowed to vote?
Yes, yeah. I think first thing I want to say in that is Nigeria should actually know that we are lagging behind in this. Across the world, we have over 115 countries that allow their nationals abroad to vote. And it is surprising that in Africa, we have over 28 countries that allow their diaspora to vote. And even within us around West Africa, just recently Gambia joined the group of those who do that. So for Nigeria to be talking about the consensus in this area, either we are somehow misinformed or ill-informed in this, which needs more advocacy on the background, on the side of both the civil society, the government, and the diaspora, which I think they are doing enough also. But we have to know that two things are involved in diaspora voting. One is that it is their human right to vote. And secondly, it is also a demonstration of their commitment to their country. So while we are deciding whether they should vote or not, and we are consistently taking their money, it's like operating a philosophical point of view of utilitarianism. You know, your value is for what you give to us and not who you are and what you other things. So, and diasporas feel that they're cash cows if they are treated in that direction. So I think, answering your question, yeah, I was speaking with somebody actually from Ministry of Foreign Affairs and he pointed out to the fact that one of the reasons is that we don't have enough data of who are diasporas out there. So maybe we wait until we have the data. There must be a point in that, but also there is a point in using that as a bet to get Nigerians in diaspora to vote. Like NITCOM has ensured that in almost all the embassies or missions of Nigeria abroad, there is a portal where somebody could go in and register. And if you go to NITCOM website also, you see a portal for Nigerians to register. Just click on the country of residence and you do that. If Nigerians in diaspora know that they are going to vote in 2023 election, I will tell you that portal will be flooded because they want to count. But because you say, until we do that, we know how things go here. There must be an incentive. There must be a bite. We see the pool of people coming out for PVC this time. It's because there is this hunger for people to do something different. So I think rejecting it on the ground that we don't have sufficient data may not be completely the right thing. And also that the consensus had not been formed around the populace is also another question to worry about.
I know that NITCOM has been doing quite a bit in terms of getting Nigerians in diaspora the recognition which they rightly deserve.
Yes.
But have we been able to harness? I mean, you've talked about how Nigerians are the ones by themselves organizing, running missions to Nigeria, finding out how they can be of help to their different communities, especially where they come from, etc. Yeah. But as the country as a whole, yes. I mean, yes, they created the Diaspora Commission. Yeah. Have we been able to harness the usefulness of the capabilities, the capacities of our Nigerians in diaspora in certain sectors of the economy where we perhaps might need their expertise?
Okay, in terms of that, I think one of the things we have to say also, which is also a plus to Nigerian government, is that Nigeria is one of the few countries in the world that have taken steps in institutionalizing their diaspora engagement. By this, we mean putting up systematic frameworks that either help to manage this flow. Again, it is important, again, that we underline the fact that the huge money that come from diaspora are private money that go to families for their dealings. But how could such money be trapped into national development that is very structural? This is what institutionalization of diaspora engagement does. So the first part of it is recognizing the diaspora themselves. And we go back to the 1999 review of the Constitution that gave Nigerians the opportunity to have a dual citizenship, which they are using to be able to operate in both ways. It's a great incentive. And then in terms of the field of development, instituting or creating the Diaspora Commission also gave the platform for a government face. And that is why that commission is able to do more than it used to do before. And there's a diaspora policy that helps us to coordinate all these activities. There are, the NITCOM runs what we call a Diaspora Investment Forum. where they come in every year to interact with diaspora on different platform of business. Just recently, they are talking with the Federal Mortgage Bank and have almost concluded on diaspora housing, where diaspora can actually key into a housing loan scheme and develop and build their estates here in Nigeria, and which I think is a very great thing doing.
So we're making some progress in that area.
Yes, we're making some progress.
Well, Father, I'd love to ask you many more questions, but I see that we're totally out of time. Well, thankfully, Diaspora Day is on Monday, and I'm sure that it's a conversation that should continue into Monday.
Yes.
We have to thank you for coming on Sunrise Daily this morning and sharing your time with us. Reverend Father Emeka Obiezu, OSA's National Coordinator and Director, Civil Society Network on Migration and Development, and also the Executive Director, Augustinian Center for Advocacy, Justice, and Peace. Thank you so much for coming on once again.